Open up Excel. Open up Excel. And we want to put in, I don't know how this is going to work, but we want to go back and put in that foot traffic data, just those 4 points. And I'm going to try to make this thing work. This thing never really does what I wanted to do, but. So find your data for foot traffic, like the 29, the whatever. I'm going to share my screen here. So you're going to have foot traffic, sales. I just put in the 29. What were they? Let's see. 49, 10, 1, 12, 500, 2. So we want to run a regression on this using the 2-pack. So as we always do, go to data. See where I am? So go to data. And you should, over here on the right, hopefully you still have that data analysis 2-pack loaded on your system. So click that. If you don't have it, you're going to have to reinstall it again. So, but it should be there. Which one do you think we're going to use? Well, it just popped right up. You see all these different options. Well, obviously we're doing what? Regression. So go to regression, which is there, then say OK. Is my screen showing up okay on you guys' screen? I can't read the chat box.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So here we go. We just have to make sure we put these in correctly. So let's see. Let's clear all this stuff out. Clear all this stuff out. This may be from another problem. Clear all this out. Okay. Input Y range. Which one of these is Y? Is it foot traffic or sales? I think it's sales. So just like last week, let's highlight, let's see, even the word sales. So highlight from sales all the way down to 102 and stop. Okay. So you're going to highlight, so make sure you're doing the right column because it's going to give you a wrong answer if you highlight the wrong one. Now put the cursor in input range for X, input X range. Now highlight foot traffic, the word foot traffic, in all of these. All of those. Now, since we highlighted the words foot traffic and sales, we need to make sure that this labels box is checked. So make sure that labels box is checked. Now, put the cursor where it says output range, because this is going to allow us to put the results on the same page as our data, which is good. Now, you choose, so as long as this is clicking inside of there, oh Lord. You choose the cell, like while it's inside of here, you choose the cell on the outside where you want the results to appear. Now press OK. Give it a minute. And let me know if you're able to see on yours. I know you can see on mine, but make sure you can see the information on yours. And I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit, sort of jumbled up.
Professor, do you highlight like all of it? So like all of foot traffic and all of sales?
Yeah, but not all together. So when I did sales, that was
okay.
For the Y, and then foot traffic was like just for the X part. But I think when we did two, I think when we did 2 and we just highlighted everything at one time. So you got to be really careful about that. Okay, let's see. What do we think we see here? It's a lot of stuff going on. Look carefully on this stuff and tell me what you think you see. What do you think you see? And you may want to look at your notes to see if any what do we see here? And again, I can't see the chat box in case anybody is typing anything.
You see the coefficients, like the y-intercept and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. So what do you think is the y-intercept based on what you see here? Where is the y-intercept?
Isn't it the 37.07?
Very good. Very good. Right here. I'm going to try to color code it. So we spent all that time finding it by hand, and you mean to tell me it's just right here all along? Okay, this is going sort of slow, but yeah. So I color coded it there. And again, you may have to zoom in a little bit to kind of see it, but that 37.078 or whatever, 37.08, that's our 0, comma B. That's our y-intercept. What else do we think we see? If you have the y-intercept, then anybody see anything else? I think I see the slope.
7.14.
Yeah, right under it. Even though it doesn't say slope, that's okay. In Excel language, that's our slope. Ooh, it's not really good color. Okay, does everybody see that? So I'm not going to necessarily type that, but you see how when you do the regression, it gives you the y-intercept and the slope, just boom, right there. Now for the exam, you're still going to have to know how to do it by hand. Summation of this, summation of y. But at least in Excel, it pops that out. All right, there are two other things we need to look for. And we just got finished talking about them. So let me show you these. Here, what do you think that is? What do you think that value is right there? 0.915. That would be our, wait a minute. What do you think it's a? That would be our correlation coefficient, or R. So in this problem, R equals 0.915. Pretty good, pretty good. Now this thing turned this into like the what you call sign, copyright sign, but that's supposed to be just a R, yeah, R right there. Okay, so that's our correlation coefficient. So that's, according to this, that's pretty strong. So far, we're finding out that in our data, there's a pretty strong correlation between foot traffic and sales. Now, you don't see the word sales here, but it's assuming that you know what your Y is in the problem because it's up here in the very beginning, this Y. So there's a pretty strong correlation. What else do you think you see? Don't think too hard, we just went over it.
R square is right under it.
Yep, right.
Right?
That's good. Yep, you got it. So this right here, so this right there, and I guess you can get the calculator to like prove it. Like you can take 0.91 and square it. But yeah, you're exactly right. That is our COD, or coefficient of determination, or R squared. All right, so so in this case, if I were to give you this data and have you to print out this printout, and I say, write a statement about the coefficient of determination, then you would write something like this. And we just wrote it a minute ago. 83.8% of the variation in sales is explained by variation in foot traffic, right? But notice that we didn't have to calculate this. It literally gave us this, right? But you're gonna have to know how to get these results out from just doing a regular regression. R equals 0.915. So we say, in terms of correlation, there is a strong correlation between foot traffic and sales, since our R equals 0.9, 0.92. Now notice when we talk about the R, we don't change it to a percent. We can just leave it as a decimal. We only really deal with percents when we're talking about the COD. So that R, can anybody tell me why I made that conclusion? Why are we saying that the correlation was strong? R is 0.92, because I'm comparing it to what?
Because you're comparing it to 1.
Yeah, very good. Now, one final thing that's really going to trip you out. Look down in the blue, foot traffic, down at the bottom. It's possible for that number to be negative. Like foot traffic could have come up to be negative 7.14. But Excel is so shady in the sense that if our foot traffic is negative, it's still going to give us a positive value for R. But clearly, if foot traffic is negative, then R also has to be negative, because it's telling you what direction. So if you end up with a negative value for foot traffic, it's going to be up to you to recognize that it's a negative M, and then when you're saying something about R, just make sure that number is negative as well. Not for R squared, but you would think Excel would make this number negative, this number is negative, but it's not the case. If this number is negative here, use the same number, but just put a negative number on it, and then just report that as your R. I know it's crazy. I know you would think Excel would fix that, but just kind of keep that in mind. Just kind of keep that in mind. There we go. Okay, so everybody find your formulas for calculating slope by hand. Find your formulas, calculating slope by hand. As a matter of fact, let's do number 2 first. I think number 2 asks for the one-word commands for slope, y-intercept, correlation, and coefficient determination, I think. Yeah. So let's do 2 first. That's easier. So I need a one-word command to find the slope. You know how like normally you can say like equals sum or something like that if you want to add values? We have to figure out what's the one-word command to find the slope of our original data. Anybody think they know what it is? Or can somebody Google it or something? I want to find the slope using a one-word command. What would it be? Take a wild guess.
Is it just slope?
Okay, let's try it. So let's say equals. I mean, if I had a guess, that's what I would say. Slope, S-L-O-P-E, open parentheses. Do you see there? It says equal slope, open parentheses. It's asking us for several pieces of information. It's thinking about delta y over delta x. So what they want us to do is put in the values for y first. Now, when we do this, we only need to highlight the numbers, not the word sales. So I'm going to highlight these. This is my y column. Now what do I type? According to the formula, I highlight the y's and then I put a what?
A comma.
A comma. And now it wants me to put in the known x's without highlighting the word foot traffic. Okay. Close parentheses, equals. Based on what you know, is that correct? Well, it should coincide with this right here.
Yes.
They're pretty much the same. Okay. So I'm just going to put slope right here so we know what that is. Now see if you can find the ones for intercept. Like try to use Google or the help to figure out, there's a command to find the intercept, y-intercept, correlation coefficient, and also coefficient of determination. See what you can find on that. Just a one-word command. You may have to Google it. Yeah.
For the slope, did you just do equals and then type slope and then put in the numbers?
Yes. Now I need to find out what I need to type to find the y-intercept. If anybody thinks they found it, let me know.
I found it. I typed in intercept.
Okay, you typed in the word y-intercept or what?
I typed in intercept.
Okay, just the word intercept. Okay, equals intercept. You open a parentheses. Oh, okay, so it wants to do the same thing. Y's, so just the Y's, comma. Now the X's. Notice that here I'm not highlighting the words foot traffic, okay? Does it come out to be what we're looking for? Do our answers match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they do. Yeah, so this should match the orange down. Okay, yeah, very good. The bottom. I'm just going to shift mine over here. Okay, keep it going. I think it asked you for correlation coefficient next. See what you guys find on that.
Professor, when I type in like R, like parentheses R and then close parentheses, it makes it into like a little, I think it's like a check sign. Do you know how to
Yeah.
like remove that?
Yeah, I know it did that to me as well. I would go, for example, because this is the first place where I typed it. Just go back up here in the type bar itself, and then just like go backwards, and then just type it up there, and then it should correct itself.
Okay.
But I don't even know. Let's see. In a minute. So this is the intercept right here. So now we got to find R and R squared. I don't even know if R works, but if anybody finds anything for correlation, let me know if you find the function name for that. Okay, yeah, who is that? Yep,
I think it's just, I got coral, like CORREL.
Wow, where'd you find that?
I Googled correlation coefficient function in Excel.
Okay. Okay. So equals. No, I mean that's the point. That's I want you guys to find it. CORR. Just EL. Open parentheses. Ooh. Array 1. So what did you highlight here?
I know I got confused when it got to this point.
Okay.
For array 1, it was the sales, and for array 2, it was foot traffic.
Really?
I did
Okay,
it
so let's
backwards,
see.
and I put the foot traffic first, and then I did sales, and I got the 0.915.
And so what happens if you do sales first?
I got
What
0.915 as well with doing sales first.
first? Okay, so apparently here it doesn't matter which one is first. With the slope and intercept, you have to make sure you do those Y's first. But I think with correlation, I think Excel is not really worried about which one comes first or second. Let me see. I want to see something. This is probably going to be wrong. This is going to be wrong, but I want to see something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you're right. I think it doesn't matter which one comes first because Excel can sort of figure out. I guess the main formula, whatever it is not dependent on order, right? Whereas slope, you have to do that Y first. And let me just make sure. I'm going to do the other one first. So yeah, here I think it doesn't matter. That's why they're saying array as opposed to Y's and X's. So I want to do foot traffic. Oh dear. One of those days with Excel. Okay, yeah, so it's not going to matter which one you do first. Just make sure the answer jives with what we got. Yeah, it does. With here and here. So this is correlation coefficient. Anybody find anything for COD yet? This may be a little tough.
I did the
Yeah.
same, and then I just did the like up arrow and 2.
Okay, that's one way to do it, because that's technically what it is. But see if we can find just a one-word command. But you're exactly right. I mean, that's how you calculate it. You basically square R. But I want to see if anybody finds like a one-word command. It may not exist. Wait a minute, let me see. Yes.
I mean, I found the command. I Googled it.
Okay, well, what did you find?
It's RSQ.
Yes, yes, exactly. And now, is it asking for array, or does it want you to put a certain one in first when you type?
It's asking for array, but it says known underscore YS, so it tells you where to put the Y and the X values.
Oh, okay. So it's telling you that it wants the Y first.
Yeah, for me, because I'm trying to, for some reason, my Excel stopped working well. So whenever I type in an equal and I try to do something after it won't start the formula function. So I just went to formulas and I'm doing insert function. So it's kind of different for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is anybody able to type in like equals R? Was it RSQ or RS2? What was it? RSQ?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is anybody able to type it in? And how was it asking you to put the information in? An array or what?
Mine is also like hers. Mine says known YS and then known XS. Like
Okay. Let me see.
parentheses and then known YS comma known XS.
Okay. So let me see. I'm going to say equals this computer RSQ open parentheses. Oh, okay, yeah. So here it's not just an array. They really do want the Y's first. So we have to do that, comma, then the foot traffic. So here order does matter, whereas in the other one, oops, it didn't. Oh goodness. And see if those answers match. What they give us over here. Yep, they do. There you go. So I'm sorry, my computer is just really is looking for this Wacom software. So anyway. Okay, so that's number 2, just to show you that you can do like this really one word command, which I think is cool, right? Because you sort of do it by hand and all this stuff. So, and then of course, with the tool pack, it just gives you all this stuff just at one time, right? But at least you can kind of see what's right and wrong. Now, when we do number 1, this is going to be a little bit more of a headache. Yes?
Can I please see the formula for the R squared again?
Yeah, there you go. I don't know if it's available. You might have to look up here in the function bar, but it's basically equals RSQ. Then you do the Y's first, comma, then the X's. Okay, let me get you started on number 1. Now for number 1, find in your notes, like when you try to find the slope and the y-intercept by hand. So find those ungodly formulas with all that summation mess, summation of this over all the summation. So find those. You're going to need that for number 1. All right.
Do we do it in separate
Let me tell you what we're going to
We take a picture.
No, because you're going to do it on Excel. We're going to do number 1 on Excel.
Oh, okay.
Once
Sorry.
this stops, it's crazy. If I wanted to do this, it wouldn't do it. Okay, here's what we're going to do for number. So this is number 1. So I don't know if you guys can see this constant message on my computer, but just ignore it. Number 1, we want to find the slope. So what we're going to do, have different components that we need to put together. Like, for example, in the formula, for slope, I need several pieces. I need n, so there's the n. What else do I need? Sum of x's, which is like summation of x. I need the sum of the y's. What else do I need? The sum of the xy's. I need the sum of the x squared. And then I need parentheses sum of x. And then I need to square that. So the only thing I'm doing right now is just setting up myself to put these answers there, right? Did I leave anything off? I'm looking at the different pieces of the formula. I need an n, I need a sum of x, I need a sum of y, I need a sum of xy, a sum of x squared, and then the sum squared. I think I have all of them. Now, what you're going to do is use Excel to calculate these different pieces for you, right? Use Excel. Now, I can count these things right here. Like, I know the number here should be 4, but suppose I couldn't count, right? All right. How do I let Excel count these things for me? I say equals, count, C-O-U-N-T, open parentheses. What I want to do is go to my original data over here and highlight all of these values here that I need for it to count. Close parentheses, boom, there's the 4. So you're going to have to figure out how to go step by step by step by step. Remember, this is the X column right here. This is the Y column right here. So here's my X's. So when it gets to sum of X, I don't want you to do it by hand. I want you to make Excel add that stuff up. Equals, whatever, you know, whatever command you know how to make them add them up. And so by the time you finish putting the equation inside of here, the actual sum should pop up in that cell right there, right? But you're not doing anything by hand. You're literally making Excel do each one of these. Now, once you get all of these values, now, first of all, how do you know whether you're right or wrong? Well, we did it in class. So you should know which value should end up here based on what you do. But you have to make Excel do all these things to get these different parts, okay? So once you get these different parts, then you can put it all together and say M, you know, and then put a formula there, equals this times this minus this times this, and see if your answer in the final shebang ends up being this 7.14 over here. So this is a little bit more involved. I'm checking to see if you know how to do these, get these individual components and make them fill in. Now, when you're doing X, Y, you may have to do like a separate column over here, like X times Y or something, and then do what you need to do first and then add them together. But you're going piece by piece and making Excel do it. So let's see what we can do with this one on your own. I mean, I'm here, but see what you can do. So you're going to have to fill all these values right here in. All of those, all of those. I think I want to share this way. This is better, I think. So yeah, please don't add these yourself and then just type the number inside of there. You want to put in a formula and then make Excel put the value inside of there for you. The hardest two may be like these last two, sum of xy, sum of xy, but I think you can figure it out. Yes.
Professor, for the ones that like you don't have to use a formula every single time, right? Like a set formula that says like total or something like that. Like for when you're trying to do like when you're doing sum of x, y, and first you have to multiply x and y, and then you add them all together. Like, can I just do like a column that does x times y and do equal like 20, like the D5 times E5?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Right. And then when you get those, then you can add them up.
Then I use the like formula. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So who is this? I'm listening. Oh, I thought somebody. Yeah, all of these, I'm not going to have one word commands. You're going to have to just kind of feel your way, kind of figuring out how to make Excel do what you want it to do.
Professor, so for 1, after we calculate all of that, do you want us to just copy and paste A and B from 2? It's telling us to find the slope and the y-intercept.
That's for number 1?
Yeah, and then for number 2, we had to find the slope and the y-intercept again, as well as linear correlation and the coefficient.
Well, we did number 2 already, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you want us to just copy and paste A and B from number 2, since we already?
No. Because see, for number 1, what you're doing is not just using the one-word command, but you're literally going through and finding each and every component of M. So in other words, what you're doing is building up to M as opposed to using one-word command. So you see right here where I have this 4, right here? Well, that's the end part of the formula. So what you're doing for number 1 is finding each separate part of the formula, and then you're going to put it all together like in homework, and then have the numerator divided by denominator and see if it comes out to be the same number. So say, for example, you see sum of x right here. How do we calculate the sum of x from this data over here? By doing what?
I did equal sum, and then I highlighted 29 to 31.
Good, very good. Okay, so you have that. Okay, sum of y, you have what? Equal sum of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get your sum of x, y? Well, okay, I don't want to. Okay, so in other words, do you have all of these numbers right here so far?
Yeah.
Good. Now, what I want you to do is now look at the entire formula that you have for M. It equals something like what, n times some stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what you're going to do finally is say equals. But let's do it this way. It may be better for some of you to do it like numerator, denominator. Now, what is the formula for the numerator of M? It's like n times something, right?
It's n times the sum of xy minus the sum of x times the sum of y.
Okay, good. So what I want to do now for numerator, say equals. Now start clicking on the different numbers inside of here that resemble that formula for the numerator. Then you're going to get that answer. Now go to the denominator, put in equals, then start clicking on which one of these numbers corresponds to the formula in denominator. Then once you get both of these, M is simply going to be this number divided by number. But you're going to have to struggle here for numerator and say equals and start clicking on whichever one of these numbers here that corresponds to the formula. You get it?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
And we'll do the same for the y-intercept, right?
Yes. But only if your final answer for M matches these other places. Like hopefully when you finish, it comes out to be 7.14, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, as long as it matches, then go ahead to find the y-intercept. So that should be, I guess that blue. Was anybody able to get theirs to match yet?
Yes, I was.
Oh, good, good, very good. Okay, good. And so you're going to do the same thing for the y-intercept. And I think you already have all the parts you need. That there may be one you have to add or something, but you may have everything you need already for for the slope. Yeah.
I'm like confused on how to do the sum of x, y, and I like am Googling it and I'm like confusing myself even more.
Yeah, it's not going to be a one-word command for some x, y. You got to do it separate. So you see here, you see right here where I have x times y as like a column heading.
Yeah.
Right here. So now, like, what is x times y? Well, here's the first one. See, x times y. So you physically are going to have to multiply those things together to get this column. Once you finish, you'll get some values right here, which represents x times y, x times y, x times y. And then from here, you have to do what to the values?
Add them.
Add them. So yeah, it's not going to be a one-word command, but you have to kind of make it still do what you want it to do. So you're going to have to know what times is, right? Multiplication, and then fill those in. And then when you get over here, then you can just say add them together, and then it should pop up inside of there. Same thing for x squared, right? So when you get to x squared, you're going to have to do a separate column for these right here. But how do you get it? You essentially square these values right here, and then that gives you those right there.
Thank you.
It's going to take a little ingenuity, but I think you guys can do it. You can do it. Did anybody get the intercept yet? Did anybody's intercept match? I think you should get 37. Yes, Oh, you guys are saying yes by raising your hand? I thought you had a question.
No, Professor, I was just going to say for the sum xy, I think you can type in equal sum, and then when it opens the parentheses, I think you can select like your x values and then just put in like times, like the asterisk, and then select the y value.
Oh, okay.
That way you don't have to like multiply them individually.
Okay, so when you say equal sum, you okay, so you have this sum, and so what you clicked on what?
I clicked on 29 and I dragged it down to 31.
Okay.
And then I did times.
Okay.
And then I selected the y values.
The y's? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. Now, does it come out to be 12,600?
Yes.
Even when you do it the other way? Let me see.
Yes, I did it the other way too, just to make sure, and I got.
Oh, good. Okay. All right, so there you go. More than one way to skin a cat there. So let me just check this right quick. That's good. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Wait a minute. Let me see. 12. Oh, wait. Okay, you may be right. You may be right. Let me see. Equal sum. Okay, very good. There you go. Okay, so yeah, there's more than one way to skin a cat there. So whether you do it that way or the way we kind of did it in class, in terms of going bit by bit by bit. So that's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, did anybody match their intercept, y-intercept yet? Or are you still working on that? Anybody's match?
I got it, and it matches.
Okay, so you guys got the 37 point something. Okay. Now the last, so everybody keep working on that. What does this last problem say? I'm just trying to read what this. Okay. So let's plot this stuff. Let's plot this stuff. Let's see how to plot this stuff. Give me 1 second. We want to do a scatter plot, and you guys may figure out how to do it before I can. All right, so if you're on number 3, let's go back to the original data, which is right here. Okay, so let's see, highlight that, and I guess we need to go to insert. Let's see how this works. We want to scatter plot. Oh, okay, seems kind of straightforward. If I go over to here, and there's a little icon for these little dots here. Let's see what happens there. Okay. Now, I guess we could amend this thing. Like you can do add chart. Okay, so we have the basic graph here, and I'm just going to keep it right here in this. Everybody see that scatter plot? 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. Now you can get rid of these lines if you want. I'm just clicking on the actual lines itself and deleting them. I clicked on them, and that makes it a little bit easier. Now you can add chart element. Like if you want to go to like axis titles. So I'm up here in the left-hand corner. Well, click on the chart. Click on the chart itself. Okay, so I'm clicking on the chart itself. Then at the top here, I'm going to chart design, and it gives me the opportunity to add the chart element up here in the left-hand corner. So you can add titles, like I can say primary horizontal, axis titles, primary vertical. I mean, I don't care that you put those there. The most important thing is, first of all, can you do this scatter plot? Can you make it draw that scatter plot? And can you draw the regression line through it? Anybody know how to draw that regression line? Because I think it wants you to put the regression line and the regression equation. It's kind of hard to remember. Click on any one of those dots. See any one of those 4 dots? Just click on one of those dots. Now, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Do control and then click on the little, you know how you want to click when you want to select something, just the main bar, click on that. And it should say add trend line. You want me to go over that again?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let me undo that. Okay, so what you want to do is click on any one of these 4 dots. Now you see control, like I'm on a Mac, so like you have at the very bottom control, hold that, and then just click on how you normally click on something. I don't know what to call it, the little big bar line there. So not the space bar, but what you just normally use to click. All right, now go to add trend line. Then over here on the right, so it put the trend line over here on the right, do display equation over the right and display R squared. I don't know if you can see those, but they popped up like right there on the chart itself. And you can blow those up if you want. Increase the font and this bears out, you know, we saw our M was 7.14. So in other words, what they did was write the regression equation, y equals 7.1447x plus the y-intercept, which kind of jives with the data that it gave us before. But look at that regression line. You see there? They just put it right on top of there, and then the R squared value matches what we got before, like 83.9% or something like that. So just kind of what we did to get that scatter plot, and you know, they made that regression line come up. If you're still working on number 1, then you kind of missed what I said. So just make sure you look at the recording there. Let's do the recording. As long as you get 1 and 2, that's all I'm really concerned about. And then you can sort of, you know, kind of finish up here. But let's say what we have to the desktop. Let's go ahead and put it in the Dropbox so you can get credit for this stuff today. Yeah, question? But that's the idea for.
I can't find that option where you were.
Did you? Are you clicking on one of the dots? You have to click on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't get the option where it says like chart design. I don't know where I can find that.
Yeah, okay, so chart design is going to be up at the top, but you have to make sure you click on the graph itself first. So if you're not if you don't click on the graph, it's not going to be there. So click on the graph itself, and then chart design should come up at the very top.
Do we need to turn in do we need to finish the numerator and denominator in the M?
Yeah, so I'm looking for number 1 and number 2 primarily. If you don't get to 3, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Before logging out today,
Yeah, I
can
mean,
we
I
go over
can't find that. It's kind of
responses
weird.
for x through some x squared?
Wait a minute, it was 2 people talking at the same time. What'd you say? Can you say that again, whoever that was?
Do you mind before finishing class today going through the correct answers for n through some x squared just to make sure that I have everything correct?
So sum of x should be, so I'm going to square these values here. Same thing there. I'm going to say equal sum. Okay, so that's what I got for sum of x. And then this one, I'm just going to take the value that we got for sum of x right here and square it. So those are the ones that I got.